Alright, there's a little cosmetic cleaning left to do, but I'm not going to go totally apeshit on this thing because it's a ugly blue box fan, let's face it. But I do want to clean out inside there with the oil, with the alcohol rather, and see if I can get a nice clean internal bearing in the back so that I feel comfortable that it's clean, and maybe it'll spin down a little better, it'll be a little freer, because this was the side I couldn't really oil the bearing itself. On the front of the motor I was able to put oil in the front of the shaft and it flowed in as it would, and that really works good. And if I remember correctly, my grandpa, who I used to help oil these kind of fans, told me that you really did want to oil to the bearing because sometimes the oil doesn't really flow down through here where you want it to get. And that's exactly what we saw. If you go back and watch the video, I oiled through here and got some oil onto whatever that felt is, but didn't really do anything. It wasn't until I oiled in the front and the oil flowed right into the bearing, that was when it really freed up. So that's why you really got to take these things apart, I think, and make sure that they're cleaned and oiled the proper way directly on the bearing. And so then we just keep doing this until it comes out clean. That's pretty clean. The other side is ready to go. Okay, so then we just put some oil the shafts, throw them back together. I am going to finish cleaning this off because it's a little bit grody. Maybe I won't take that apart just yet. I'm going to drop that. Okay, I have to be extra careful because I'm a little clumsy. I tend to drop things and break things and force things that aren't supposed to move and then break them. So that's all one of those things, you know. I don't know if there's supposed to be oil on these felts or not. There's going to be because it's just the way it works, right? But you get oil everywhere. Okay. So we're looking okay here. We're doing good on time. And we're close, I think, to putting this old girl back together. So I'm going to double check that everything's clean. And then when I'm ready to start putting it together, we'll do that. All right, so rear bearing oiling. I'm going to drop some in where the questionable felt thing is. Okay, just to be safe. Just so that it's got some oil in there. Not a lot, because I don't want it falling all over the place. And then I'm going to try and oil around the surface of the bearing. So that's ready to rock, I think. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm just going to drop some down around that disintegrating felt just because we're here, so we can and we will. And now I'm going to drop some through, making sure that we get all of that bearing surface with the oil. This is excess, obviously. You're wasting a little bit of oil, but it's worth it because then you're sure that you've done your job. And then when you put the this guy back together, you put your felts in your washer, and then you oil all the way and assemble. So that's what we're going to do. Here goes the washer on the front. Should be fine. Very nice. Here goes the rear. Should be good. Very nice. Of course he drops a part of it. Typical. So there you go. And now we're going to Earl her up, as Grandpa would say. Put a little Earl on there. Here we go. Earl. I don't want to have to be able to, I don't have to put this down once I've done that. So let's get this as close to ready as we can. This has got to go together. Here we go. She's going. And on it goes. So that side is ready to receive that. Okay, so we're ready to rock. We're pretty sure everything's nice and clean, right? pretty good to me. Here we go. Earling her up here. Okay. This has got to go all the way through, so we're going to put it all the way around to be damn sure that there's plenty of lubrication. So now, put that in, and it should sit nice and free. And then this is our top, so this needs to go like this here, and we're going to put this on like so. Slides nice and easy. And there we go. Got a bit of a vacuum on the inside. It's an odd problem to have. There's a vacuum inside, and it's pushing this up. Okay, now we seem to be together. Doesn't seem that free. Okay. All right. That's not quite right. This is going to go here. Okay, now our 4 screws. It doesn't feel that free just yet. We're a little worried about it, but we're going to see once we screw it all together if it's then lined up properly. So, 1. There we go. Oh, no we don't. It's not as easy to line up as I thought it would be. 1. 2, 3, 4. Sits down in the square. There you go. So those are on. Then we just need our nuts, which I was cleaning. So these got a little WD-40 on them, but they did clean up nice, and that's what I was really hoping for. Get that gunk off of them. So here we go. And that's much easier. So we got 2. Go. We're gonna get finger tight. This is what you do. You get it to where it's finger tight, and then you do a little on each side, almost as if you're tightening a snare drum or something. You want to do each equal tension, opposite and opposite. So we're going to finger tighten these so that we know that's our baseline, and then we're going to bring the wrench out and tighten it properly. Stay tuned. All right, so we got our little socket here, and we're going to go a little bit, a little bit, a little bit, a little bit, and you're trying to go for an equal tension. So you're going by feel on that. These motors have a stop on the housing. This isn't going to be misaligned if you do everything right, because it doesn't it stops right on there. And we do feel pretty darn free here. Oh yeah, so we like that. I like that. That looks good. Let's finish tightening it up. We don't want to over tighten it. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to go 1, 2, 3. That one's the tightest. 4. So we feel pretty good there. We don't want to over tighten it. And that's nice and free. There you go. I like the way that sounds. That looks nice. I like that. Look at that. Nice vibes on that one. So the one thing left to do is to clean the inside of the rails. That's the one thing I haven't done yet. So I'm going to do that, and then we'll put the motor back on. Stay tuned. Alright, so all in all, the fan case turned out pretty nice. It's still rusty. There's no stopping that. But cleaned up pretty good. See, it's still rusty, but some of the grease came out, and certainly inside where the motor mounts, everything's nice and clean now. Not so bad. So it's pretty good, and we're going to put the motor on, get everything reassembled, and see if it runs.